If you're educated, you know, sir, that you are made in the image of God. What do you want to say?
If you have two people with a moral dilemma, maybe one of them says that murder is good, one of them says that murder is bad, and the guy, they have a disagreement. They say, well, how do we resonate this? They say, hey, I got my information from God. The other guy says, hey, I got my information from God. How do you know who's telling the truth?
How do you know who's telling the truth?
Who's telling the truth?
You search the scriptures.
Yeah. See,
so you have to refer to an absolute standard. Why do you want to reject the Bible? Why do you want to cancel the Bible? Why are you biased against the Bible is the question. Why?
Because there's...
Why? My friends, the Bible built your society, sir. You know the Bible gives you everything you enjoy? Do you know that? Do you know that your Constitution, your Declaration of Independence, your Bill of Rights, your due process, the 12 jurors in a court of law based upon the 12 witnesses of Christ? My friends, these 12 apostles, your whole legal system, your whole society is based off the pattern of the Bible. The Bible is written. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C. and read the monuments? Have you ever been to the Jefferson Memorial? Have you ever been to the Washington Monument? Have you ever seen the Bible engraven on the buildings of our Capitol? I mean, literally, there's a bust of Moses in the Congress, the Hall of Congress. The 10 Commandments are written in our chamber of lawmaking. The Bible, gentlemen and ladies, the Bible built your society.
The reason that I separate myself from the Bible is because plenty of the things that it teaches contribute directly to death and destruction. We talked about this.
Men misinterpreting the Bible.
Men misinterpreting the Bible. So you guys,
yes,
you got the word that
men corrupt everything, man. Men corrupt everything.
Okay, so then what are you doing? Are you not corrupting everything by doing what you're doing right now? Under
Sir,
that pretense? If you say
with all due respect,
executions,
the Quran corrupted this world. The Bhagavad Gita corrupted this world. If you know history, you know Muhammad taught to strike the neck of the infidels. If you know comparative world religion, right? If you've ever studied religion, you know that Islam was spread with the sword. And if you read the Bible, Jesus told Peter, put your sword into its sheath. Those who live by the sword die by the sword. The Bible, friends, yes, has been used. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish, young man. The Bible has been used as a pretext for murder, as a pretext for death. But I've lived in South Asia for 15 years. And the best thing that happened to South Asia was colonization. And many Indians have told me that the best thing that happened was British colonization. The best thing that happened to much of the world was Christian colonization. Why? Because before the gospel penetrated into those societies, they were headhunters. They were murdering their own neighbors, cutting their heads off. They were stealing their land, stealing their property. Then Christians came in and said, love your neighbor as yourself.
I mean, you could say that, but we have wildfires here in California that are directly being disposed of because of indigenous strategies that they used when they were here before we came in.
So wildfires.
Get rid of wildfires. There's a lot of different things that indigenous peoples who don't follow the Christian.
So your objection is wildfires.
My objection to you implying that Catholicism and Christianity, everything related to the Bible, built this whole society.
I'm not a Catholic, man.
That isn't falling apart.
No, the Catholic system is completely corrupt. The Catholic Church is false religion. However, and we can talk about that more. Why did God bring wildfires to Oregon or to California? You celebrate homosexuality. You celebrate what the Bible calls sodomy. You celebrate perversion and public obscenity. During Pride Month, we have people committing indecent acts, exposing themselves on the fair streets of this beautiful state. And then you wonder why there's fires? You wonder why there's natural disaster, or what insurance companies call acts of God? Acts of God? You know, my friend, God is angry with this state. God is angry with this country because we have allowed perverts to dictate policy. Perverts are dictating national policy.
Like, we're all committing sin here. We're all going to hell for doing that.
Not everyone's going to hell, man.
We just wait till we get to hell to punish us for all eternity.
Because I don't want you to bring hell to earth.
No, what's God's reasoning here?
I don't want you or any...
I'm going to kill everyone here so that I can bring them to hell a lot more quickly.
Wow, you're projecting, man.
No, this is exactly what you just said, is that he's bringing wildfires because of sins that people are committing, right?
I'm saying God's bringing wildfires because he's God. He can do whatever he wants. We are like ants before God. We are like microbes. So your objection to my point was wildfires. Okay, why do wildfires happen?
The objection...
Come on, you got to do better, man. You got to do better. And you could never achieve favor with God. God's kingdom is not a meritocracy. Heaven is not a meritocracy. You do not earn favor with God because you're charitable or because you're a good boy or a good girl or a good man or a good woman. come to God because Jesus gave his life, man. Jesus came into the world 2,000 years ago. Hold on, come on. I'm on the gospel now. Jesus died, even though he lived a perfect life that did not deserve death, sir. Jesus lived an impeccable life. He was tempted in every point, and yet he did no sin. Jesus was a red-blooded man, and he never looked at a woman inappropriately. He never had a bad thought. He never said a bad word. He never lied. He never cheated. And Jesus had every right to torment his enemies. He had every right to slaughter his persecutors. And what did Jesus say? He said, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. He could have called down 12 legions of angels to destroy his enemies. Did you want to say something, dear ma'am?
Oh, yeah, I just don't understand why you're saying, like, you're not trying to belittle people, but you're standing above.
I'm standing here so I can be heard, ma'am.
I feel like
I'm doing this. I can't use an amplifier, so I'm up here.
So I feel like standing on even ground.
Well, thank you for your input, ma'am.
I got one more question.
Please believe on Jesus, all right?
Nothing.
I got one more question because I got class to go to. You said if I let Jesus into my heart, the implication is that I arrive in the city of heaven upon my death, right?
If you repent and believe on Jesus.
Yes. Say, for example, I am walking home, and when I arrive home, I'm going to let Jesus into my heart. But before I get there, someone bludgeons me. Okay. Now that I haven't let Jesus into my heart, on the way home, the free will that God is giving to people to bludgeon me in the back of my head means that I go to hell, even though the implication was that I was going to let Jesus into my heart when I arrive home. What do you say there?
I say God is in control, and since you did not call upon Jesus, you were not going to. If you would have, you would not have been killed in that time because God is in control of everything.
Wait, so if I ever...
Do you understand?
If I ever in my life am going to call upon Jesus...
Come on, man! Think about it.
If I ever in my life was going to call upon Jesus, I would have already done that.
If you were meant to call upon Jesus, which means if you are one of God's chosen people, then you would not have died before calling upon Jesus.
So God's just calling people?
God is in control. See, God is God, not man. You are not God. I'm not God, young man. We are men. We are made from dust. God calls the shots. God is the final arbiter. And if God is merciful to you, sir, he'll soften your heart to receive the Bible, to receive the teaching of Jesus. Please open your heart, open your ears to receive the seed of his word. Let the seed of his word...
I gotta get to class.
No, thank you for your time, man. Can I shake your hand?
Sure.